The Holy Quran says, O ye who believe, be steadfast in the cause of Allah, bearing witness in equity, and let not a people's enmity incite you to act otherwise than with justice. Be always just, that is nearer to righteousness, and fear Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do. Chapter 5, verse 9. Hence, let not a people's enmity cause you to abandon righteousness. What is righteousness? Righteousness is to do everything with the fear of God and bearing His love in your heart. Allah, the Exalted, loves His creation very much. It is because of this very love that Allah has sent prophets and messengers into this world, so that the people may be saved from entrapment by Satan and do good works, promote love and affection amongst each other, and establish peace. Allah has made it binding on a Muslim that he should not advance in enmity so much as to abandon fulfilling the requirements of justice. I ask my dear respected guests, is it fair that our beloved Prophet, whom a Muslim holds dearer than his life, should be ridiculed and portrayed, God forbid, as a terrorist? Or can it be said about the Holy Quran that teaches love and affection and justice that it should be torn and cast into the sea? I very much like the comment by a Danish Christian on the publication of the caricatures. He said that these cartoons were like him writing a poster with some false statement about his neighbor and putting it on his front door so that the neighbor could read it every day and yet claim that he loves his neighbor. Every sane person can understand that these things cannot help establish peace. Therefore, if peace is to be established, we will have to respect the sentiments of each other and safeguard the rights of society. It is easy to spread hatred, but very difficult to sow the seeds of love. Modern man has come so close to other men that he can find the whole world before him on the touch of a button while seated on his sofa in his drawing room. Were all the efforts to achieve that nearness of a global village aimed at kindling the fire of hatred? Or were they to witness the evergreen fruit-bearing trees of love and sympathy for mankind? You will certainly agree with me that our goal should be to acquire and promote love. Come, let me show you the Quranic teaching on how to create an atmosphere of peace, love, and brotherhood in society. The Holy Quran says that a major cause of social ills is violation of the rights of one another, and admonishes us to be mindful of the rights of the weaker section of the society in particular. The Holy Quran says, and in their wealth is a share belonging to the beggar and the destitute. Chapter 51, verse 20. Today, when we are so close to each other that we witness scenes of starvation and poverty in the poor countries of the world, Mere sympathy is not enough. Rather, we should also help them. Despite his deepest desire, no single person can eradicate hunger from the world on his own. This requires a concerted effort to be made by all. A few NGOs are nowadays working on this, but even they cannot fully cope with it unless the wealthier governments, be they oil-rich or developed Eastern countries or affluent Western countries, pay attention to sincerely helping at government level. Unrest will persist. If instead of supplying arms and ammunition, the countries, especially the African countries embroiled in conflict, are helped with food that many rich countries have in excess of their needs, unrest will abate. Development plans should be chalked out for these countries. Efforts should be made to extend educational and medical facilities to all remote areas. The rights of the needy and deprived are not limited to food, but also include education and opportunities for progress. Otherwise, unrest will spread. Unfortunately, when the donor countries do come to the aid of the poor nations, more than 70% of their approved budget is consumed on the salaries and benefits of their own personnel. When aid ultimately trickles down to a poor man, his condition improves only to the extent that he is able to take a gasping breath before death and does not have the energy for any other movement. I was surprised when I saw the several governments had installed pumps in Africa to provide water. But the pumps no longer worked after a short time. And there was nobody to repair them. When our Humanity First and the Ahmadiyya engineers investigated, they were told that the pumps had been installed by the foreign countries and the local governments did not have the means to rehabilitate them, as the cost would be very high. The cost was so high because the workers claimed a lot of personal expenses. However, Humanity First and our engineers were able to rehabilitate them at a very low cost. The pleasure that the local people get on seeing clear water flow through their pumps makes you realize why Allah has exhorted us to take care of the needy and the destitute. Poor people do not have many desires. If their needs are satisfied, it can lead to peace in society. Then the Holy Quran says, "You are the best people raised for the good of mankind. You enjoin what is good and forbid evil." Chapter 3, verse 111. This is a major claim made by the Holy Quran that obviously means that the deeds done by you should be such as benefit the people. Do not simply be beneficial to yourself, but enjoin others to do what is good and forbid evil. Tell others that is only the good that lasts forever.